Hello everybody, and Jess here, and welcome back to Gundam, which from Mercury, the finale. Finally, we are here. It's been delayed on my part, a week or so, something like that. But we are finally watching Gundam, which from Mercury, the finale of this core. At least because second core is coming in April, if I'm not mistaken, spring 2023. So, decently soon. I guess I already know one show I'm gonna be watching in the next season that comes over. But yeah, right now we're watching the finale for the core again. What happened in episode 11? In episode 11, quite a lot has happened. First of all, we had a bit of a breakdown kind of situation from Suletta, where she was led to believe that she's unwanted, she doesn't... nobody needs her, Miorin least of them all, because of a string of misunderstandings. Sure, it all started with Miorin telling her that she's not gonna have to handle the plants, the tomatoes. But then there was the thing with the lunch, right? And all sorts of things happened that spiraled down into an interesting situation, so to speak. Thankfully, it didn't last long. I hate when misunderstandings last for like 17 episodes. Miorin noticed something is amiss, and she went and fixed it. She had a bit of a heart-to-heart with Suletta. She assured her that she needs her, that she should still be taking care of the plants and cleaning her bedroom and doing all sorts of things. So Suletta feels needed again. Another thing that happened is, of course, Shadiq going full psycho mode, full sociopath psychopath, and ordering an assassination without any care for Miorin being or not being there, which kind of makes me think less of him, even less than I already thought of him. It's interesting. Guel had that evolution of, oh no, I don't like him, to Guel is an amazing character. Meanwhile, Shadiq had the evolution of, oh no, I don't like him, to I really don't like him. Interesting how that works. I wonder how other characters are going to work in that regard. Elan, the true, real Elan, although we haven't really met him that many times, because now we have to deal with another clone, special person, or whatever they're calling them, enhanced person, I think. And there are still other members of the lounge who may or may not be involved with Mio and Suletta and their friends. Of course, the assassination is underway. The ship that Bob, or Guel for friends, is on board of was captured by the assassins of Earth, and they used it to get close to the station. Now they're out, and they're sowing havoc. And one of the girls noticed Suletta, and she's a big fan. I'm just afraid that instead of taking an autograph, she's gonna try to take Suletta's life, which will not be the best outcome of the whole situation. We know that Nika is involved with them heavily. I wonder what her role is going to be in it all. Is she going to help them in the assassination? Is she going to defy them and help her friends, or what's going to happen? I don't know. And of course, finally, we have Suletta and Miorin being separated. Suletta on that weird glass balcony thing, which makes no fucking sense structurally speaking. And I don't know who designed this space station, but they weren't the greatest designer, were they? So now we're gonna have to deal with that. Miorin is probably going to open the doors for Suletta, and Suletta is going to be able to escape from the balcony, and then they need to beeline for Ariel to save Delling, preferably, and save the space station, because it's all very much under the threat of being destroyed by the assassins. They have no regard for human lives whatsoever. They just slice open through the space station itself. So it's going to be interesting, for sure. Anything else? The Gundams of those assassins are named after Ariel's previous name. I forgot the name of it, but it was that Gundam's Thorn and that Gundam's something. So it makes me believe that whole asteroid base from the prologue was destroyed, sure, and everybody was killed, sure. But they might have grabbed some technology, some paperwork, some archives or something, probably even unbeknownst to their employers. Yeah, employers. Just the assassins that were sent grabbed some of that data, thought that everything is destroyed, but then used it to craft their own Gundams or mobile suits at least. That would be an interesting twist. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it. I think that covers the previous episode. I don't know what's gonna happen in this one. I mean, Suletta is gonna save the day, probably, or Miorin is gonna save the day. Someone's gonna save the day because, I mean, one thing for sure, for certain, Miorin and Suletta will survive. The survival of the rest of them, doubtful. I mean, not doubtful, but anything can happen. Their friends are probably gonna survive. There shouldn't be any problem with that. I guess it's just Nike's life that is threatened, I would say. If she goes against the assassins, they would have no qualms about offing her. Delling is in danger, of course. Prospera, probably, maybe. Although she seems, I mean, Prospera at all times, ever, constantly seems like everything's going according to Keikaku. So you can never know if everything is actually going according to Keikaku, or is it just her bullshit? Is it just her approach that everything's going according to Keikaku, even if everything is not going according to Keikaku? Oh well, we'll see about that. That's a better look. Okay, regardless, finale of Gundam, which first core, we should start watching it, right? So, subs, you're gonna need them to follow along. Sound, I'm gonna need it to hear what's going on. And mouse and support, I'm gonna have to ask you for your support. Monetary Patreon throne links in the description below. Or non-monetary, completely free, share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing, helps the channel. And now with all of that out of the way, we can start watching episode 12, the finale of Gundam Witch from Mercury in 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, they got separated. And here's the fangirl. With the weird, off-putting fang. Yeah, it looks familiar, doesn't it? How? She's literally closed with a bulkhead. I mean, yeah, why not? That's a psychotic level of belief. I'm not gonna lie. That's a psychotic level of belief in Suletta. She's probably not wrong, though. Suletta is going to make her way here. Exactly and precisely because Ariel is here. I wonder if there is a Gundam series that's just like this kind of opening kind of slice of life, school life. Kind of like Girls und Panzer, but instead of tanks, they're using mobile suits. Although, from what I hear, entire Gundam franchise is just pain and suffering. Which from Mercury seems to be a fair bit of an outlier there, because it doesn't have that much pain and suffering yet. It's just the first core, and I'm afraid of what's gonna come in the second core. Nope. Sensoda. Yeah, destroying the ships. Well, your hot-headedness is probably going to be the end of you. That's a great design for Gundam. I love the helmet thing with those, like, mantis-looking eyes. Witch Hunt. Oh, right. The Witch Hunters. And she left Suletta just like that. Oh, hello, Delling. Yeah, she didn't exactly have the chance. Is the interior gonna be big enough for Gundams to fit inside? Mobile suits. Oh, it's a Gundam. Yeah, that's confirmation. But it's not aerial kind of Gundam because of the techno thing on her face. Yep. Yeah, not invincible. Witch Hunters, because they have antidote. But it seems Permet's score high enough can go against the antidote. But also against the life of the pilot. Are the pilots somehow special? Did they overcome the issues with Permet's score and with gun format not by modifying the Gundams, but by modifying the pilots. And all of the assassins are somehow superhuman. That's actually an amazing reason for banning physical ammunition, space debris. Also amazing how in a moment of fight like that, all he could think of is space trash. Okay, so they are on a time limit. So we just need to survive long enough, essentially. Through the vent. That's a little sus, Suletta. Susletta. Delling shielded her? Or one of Delling's soldiers? Delling. Well, it seems the assassins aren't needed anymore. Noret, Mother? I'm missing something? Or they just haven't said enough? And what's that? Oh, soldiers. Put the helmets on! That's why you have the helmets. Jesus. Ask Shadik. Recognize it? Yeah. You're friends, actually. Okay. I guess Nika can be useful. Being a double agent kinda sorta thing. Dun dun dun. Dilanza's soul. I heard the name Dilanza. Is it like an improved Dilanza? And he missed as he said it. That was anticlimactic. Okay, there are people who don't know what Gundams are. Interesting. Yep. Yep. She's the protagonist. You can expect her to be wherever there's something going on. What's that? A mobile suit? A mobile suit. Is he gonna try to shoot him down? Yeah. Right. Don't you have comms? Don't you have comms, Guel? Isn't there any, like, globally recognized symbol for surrender? Like, I don't know, raising your hands or dropping your weapon or something? Or breaking your own antenna? I don't know. Seems like something that would be useful, an equivalent of a white flag, essentially. Okay. Straight into the chest cavity where the pilot is. Well, that's no bueno for the pilot. Yes, it is Guel. Well, shit. Why didn't you try using comms earlier, though? That's a question I have. But yeah, Guel kind of fucked up there. I mean, he did the best he could with the knowledge he had. But yeah, very much a fucked up situation, isn't it? Killed his own father not knowing it's his own father. Believing that his father resents him still, and in the last moments, his father said that he was looking for him and he's happy that Guel is alive and safe. I guess that's where the darkness of the franchise comes in. What you gonna do, Suletta? Do you have a knife at least or something to protect yourself? Oh, hello, Prospera. Hello, whatever your name is. Braid guy. At least Prospera is protected from headshots. Yes, they are dead. I mean, yeah, if she hadn't, exactly. But you'd have been killed. Yes, it would mean killing. It's real life. It's war. It's battle. Yeah. There aren't any mobile suits as powerful as Ariel on board of the station. So, ooh, that shine in her eyes. So yes, Suletta and Ariel are their only chance. Through the blood. Exactly. Go ahead and kill them all, Suletta. Rip and tear until it is done. Too late. Because Ariel found you as well. Ooh, the music. And Suletta's dead face. Got some great shading on Ariel. Disarm or kill. It's the face of Ariel. Yes. The same badge. Well, not the same badge, but similar technology. Or the same technology, but an earlier form. Yellow suit. Why did Suletta's suit turn yellow suddenly? I know that it can change color, but what's the significance of it? Ooh, a shotgun blast. The chorus. Ooh, that's a big gun. And boom. Vaporized. What do you mean it's not meant for combat? Gundams are made for combat. Big Sister Suletta. Just in case. Just in case. What's that? Oh, it's just gun bits. Oh, that's it? Wait. Oh, there's gonna be an after credits scene, for sure. They wouldn't end it here. Is there 13 episodes to it? I I don't think there is. I'm gonna check it just in case. Did I say it's the finale and it's not the finale? Which from Mercury? No, 12 episodes. So it is the finale. Okay. Why did the timer stop? Shit. I pressed some buttons that stopped the timer. I mean, it's just the ending and the after credits scene, so you're gonna have to deal with that, I'm afraid. Yeah, C is the hotkey to stop the timer. Ah, fuck. I'm gonna have to get myself a macro keyboard or something. Transporting Delling. That's a good motivation. Whomst. Saved by Suletta? Ariel? Ariel. Don't you touch my wife! Splat! Oh, the trauma! Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ! Oh my god! I mean, she gained 2. What? Are you for real, Mio? She saved your life and your father's life from a random ass terrorist that would have killed you with cold blood. I mean, I know it's like she's acting on like reflex, right? She sees someone being killed, so the person who killed them is the murderer, right? It makes sense. Like, but still. Huh. I hope it doesn't drive too big of a wedge between them. I hope Miorin is going to understand that what Suletta did was the proper thing to do. I guess there's the fact that Suletta wasn't really phased about what she did. I guess that's off-putting to Miorin, right? That Suletta didn't just splat the guy and reacted badly to it, like, you know, run out all panicked. Miorin, are you okay? Are you fine? Oh no, what did I do? But I had to do it to save you. Oh, bleh. Right? Anime people always vomit when they kill a person for some reason. But rather, she just stepped out, fell into the pool of blood. I'm such a klutz. I came to save you, Miorin, with blood-drenched hand. I guess that's the issue. I guess that's the issue that Mio had. Which is understandable, don't get me wrong. But still, I hope it doesn't drive too big of a wedge between them. And that Mio will be able to understand that what Suletta did was ultimately the right thing to do. Perhaps acting like a psychopath wasn't, but saving Mio and her father was. Yeah. Okay, that happened. And what's gonna happen now is we're gonna watch it again, shall we? Yes, we shall. Of course we shall. Last time on Dragon Ball Z, Sophie Poulon, and Suletta seems to recognize this mobile suit because it's the proto-aerial, I guess you could say. Sophie Poulon. Or else you'll die. Isn't rescuing Suletta and others? Yes, Suletta's gonna come here because Ariel is here, and Prospera isn't wrong. It's honestly kind of... I wonder if that's what they're going for here. I think it might be what they're going for. Those very off-putting moments that happen decently often with Prospera and with Suletta and with Ariel, right? Suletta's reliance on Ariel and her attachment to Ariel to an unhealthy degree. Prospera's unhealthy faith in Suletta and Ariel eventually coming together. I guess that might be what they're going for here. Suletta going from that happy-go-lucky through those, like, innocuous events, you could say, right? Prospera killing some people and telling Suletta that I would have lost one, but I won two because I saved you. And Suletta now, just like that, being fine with killing people because you gain two. Suletta talking to Ariel, all of that kind of in isolation, those are quirky moments, right? But when they come together in a situation like the finale, like the after credits scene of this episode, it does turn into something off-putting, something from the, like, whatchamacallit, Uncanny Valley, storytelling, character development, Uncanny Valley. Right? Like, you see Suletta is the same Suletta, but there's something off about it. Right? I don't know how to better explain it. But I wonder if they are going for the thing where the character trope, if that is all like, oh, fuck. Does it have a name? Because I don't have a good description for it. Kind of like yandere-ish vibes, where the character is perfectly fine with everything and anything for the sake of their perceived good. Right? Oh, I slaughtered the entire town, but thanks to that, I was able to found you, Kyosuke-kun. Oh, Kyosuke-kun, I'm sorry I broke your arm, but that was the only way you could have listened to me, right? I'm sorry, Kyosuke-kun, I had to cut off your legs, but you understand that you were trying to run from me, and I can't have that, I have to protect you. Right? That kind of a vibe. Very yandere-ish, but not fully maybe realizing the dere part, but also not fully into the yan. That might be what they're going for Suletta. Her transformation as a character. Very innocent, and also very... Yeah, the innocence remains. The innocence remains. But the actions are not innocent. Right? She killed that guy, she splatted him flat, and she acted all hee about it. There's that dissonance. I guess dissonance is the best way to put it. I've been talking for so fucking long about it, and all I needed is a single word: dissonance. Dissonance between actions and behavior. That's what they're going for Suletta. I think. I might be proven wrong. Maybe it was a one-off. Maybe they're gonna... I don't know, they're gonna be keep being friends with Miorin and Suletta, and they're gonna get engaged and married and gonna live happily ever after. If Miorin understands the whatchamacallit, the pragmatic meaning, the pragmatism of what Suletta did. If she, the emotions get combed after they're all safe and back at Asticassia. And with a calm mind, she will be able to understand that what Suletta did was necessary. And their relationship might not be destroyed yet, if that happens. Or it might not happen, and it's gonna turn into a horror series with Suletta being a yandere and running around after Miorin. That would be interesting. That would be interesting, seeing Suletta as a yandere. I wonder if there's some art or doujins about, or some Twitter comics about Suletta being a yandere. There probably are. Let's be honest here. If there's a chance to make a character a yandere, that character has probably been made into a yandere. Okay, that was still regarding the final moments of the episode, but we're still at the beginning. So let's continue. It's a B1 warning. This is war. Sensoda. Where did I hear this line? Sensoda. Tanya, the Grechaf. During the training in episode like 3 of Yojo Senki, I think, something thereabouts. When they were done with training and her team went to actual combat, she did say "Sensoda," and that was also the highlight moment, the kind of a peak moment of the episode. And this is also a bit of a highlight. Sensoda. Yeah, there is some. Yeah, that was Yojo Senki, I think. I'm certain it was Yojo Senki. Send out the Dilanzas. Oh, that's where I had heard Dilanzas. There are Dilanzas, regular Dilanzas, and there's Dilanza Sol that he decided to pilot. It's a great looking Gundam. Norea Nok, reporting for rendezvous. And yeah, Suletta is here. Why are you dressed like that? Oh no, my daughter will not get out dressed like that. Puts on spacesuit. Yes, bitch, slay. Kind of a meme, if you're familiar with it. If you're not, I'm sorry. Someone probably made that meme. Again, if it is a meme, actually, with Delling telling Miorin that she's not gonna get out like that, and she needs to put on a spacesuit, posted in my Discord. There's here. You can join it and post it. You have to wear a normal suit when evacuating. Indeed. And now we have a confirmation that those are Gundams. They aren't just made to look like Gundams, they are good and proper Gundams with permit score and permit levels and whatnot. Some great fights, but I mean, that's the norm for the series. Some great mechanical design. Antidote. Down you go. Well, you should have done that sooner and quicker. Shouldn't have let her go Super Saiyan. Shouldn't have let her morph out into Permit Score 4. 4 score. And she has something on her arm, on her shoulder. I don't know what that is. My heart's hurting so badly. Yeah, that's the data storm thing. But I'm still alive. This is significant somehow. Assassins still alive in Permit Score 4. Assassins alive at Permit 4. I wonder if there are 2 possibilities that I can see. Their Gundams are regular old Gundams that suffer from data storms and all of that jazz, but the assassins themselves, at least those two girls, those two pilots, are either super rare people that can withstand high permit scores, because I have no doubt that there would be some select rare individuals who would have better affinity to permit technology and will be able to withstand higher scores. Perhaps there's some training camp of assassins or something, and they take 100 orphans and 2 of them always survive because they go progressively through higher permit scores and they are dying off, and there are only 2 survivors in each group or something like that. That's usually how it's done in media, in anime, in manga, where they're selecting high affinity individuals. The second three possibilities actually. The second possibility is that they have been modified somehow. We know that people can be modified to be able to withstand permit higher, right? All those previous elans that we had one elan, there's second elan, there's the true elan. They're enhanced persons. Enhanced probably in the way where they just get face-offed to look like Elan, but possibly also enhanced somehow to increase their affinity to... Affinity is not the correct word. Their sync rate, I guess you could say, with permit, with Gundam technology, so that they can actually pilot Gundams relatively safely. So it stands to reason that perhaps some super deep and hard modifications, perhaps even in the womb still, while, maybe some genetic modification while still in the womb, maybe some implants at the very early age or something like that to create the perfect super soldiers, essentially, through some modification, maybe some cybernetics, maybe some other implants, maybe some brainwashing, who knows. But things like that, maybe they underwent that. And that's what made them able to pilot Gundams this well, reach permit score 4. Third possibility is that those Gundams use aerial technology, but not full. Not full. They retrieved some of it from the asteroid lab, but not all of it. So they were able to make the impact on the pilot lesser, but weren't able to eliminate it altogether. Aerial completely eliminated any any force feedback on the pilot, at least on Suletta. If they have partial technology, then perhaps what would have normally been the strength, then perhaps like the damage done by the Gundam gets like halved. So what they experience at permit score 4 is what they would have experienced in a regular Gundam at permit score 2, maybe something like that. That's why they're able to go all the way up to 4. 3 explanations. Mio and Delling and their people get attacked. Antidote isn't working because it works up to score 3. Interesting. Reminds me of Overlord and Naber Gamma's fight with Zranon, the bald egg guy, where the skeletal dragons are immune to magic, but haha, little did you know they're only immune to magic of tier up to like 5, I think, and Naber Gamma can use tier 7 or something. Yeah, that's the first association I had. And she dialed back the permit. You bastards are polluting space. I love this detail. I absolutely love this detail. It's kind of weird that he thinks of space pollution in the middle of combat. Maybe they are, from the very young age, kind of indoctrinated like that almost. right? Space pollution is a big problem, and they treat it as a cardinal sin, polluting space, essentially. Maybe. But I love this line because it justifies. It tells you why nobody uses physical weapons, why nobody uses bullets. Everybody just uses lasers. Sure, it's the future, so that's the usual explanation why lasers, because lasers cool. But the more down-to-earth explanation and an actual in-world explanation for it is space debris. And it makes perfect sense. Space debris is an issue. If there's a cloud of shells, of casings, and you fly through it with a spaceship, it's gonna bump into your windshield and it's gonna damage it, so it's best to limit space pollution. Right now we have space pollution issue on the orbit. It's soon enough it's gonna be very hard to send up new satellites and even leave Earth because of so much space debris. So that if you send up a rocket, it's just gonna get shredded in the upper orbit. So it's something that we will have to deal with eventually. Space pollution, orbital pollution, and it's cool to see that they bring attention to it in this series. Is patience polluted Earth and run your want to talk? That also gives us a little bit of a tidbit of lore about this world. Why are so many people living in space? Why are they the upper caste? Even though usually it's that people on Earth live in a paradise on the home planet, and then there are the filthy miners out in space living on asteroids and eating fungus. And this is the inversion of that. Well, because Earth is kind of a dump. It's been destroyed, it's been polluted, and thus people who were able to afford to escape into space escaped into space. Makes sense. Gives us that more of an explanation. That much more of an explanation. More garrison forces will come soon, yeah. Hangar 78. Thankfully, there's an emergency exit, so I guess the designer of this space station wasn't completely out of their meds. I'm glad Delling seems to be alive. Not alive and well, but alive at least. That's what... Why bring up my mother now? We decided together... if anything happened, at least one of us should... I don't want your excuses. Why didn't you bother escape? You could have just told me. Yeah, I'm not getting it. Maybe I'm missing some context, maybe some context simply wasn't given, and it's supposed to be vague, and we're going to discover more about it in the future. Probably what they're going for here. Because from their little dialogue, Delling and Miori's mother decided something that one of them should. What? I don't know. I have no clue. Miorin then said something. You could have just told me about what? Ah. Yeah, the cleaners have come. A repeat from the asteroid station. Sure. Space station. I guess that works. Repeat of the asteroid station. And that's where you wear a helmet. There's actually a hole in his skull. That's a cool bit of detail. We lost target's tracer and can confirm location. How could they? We have to run. I really... It might sound weird, but I like this tidbit. This bit of her having a panic attack. Very often in anime and in manga and in light novels, you see characters, even just completely secondary characters, even children, just take things in stride. Oh no, an army is attacking. Wow, I'm scared. And that's their reaction, maybe. Or they just get their things and start running, and they're mostly just nonplussed about it. That's a realistic reaction. Not for everybody, sure, everybody has different thresholds of, being able to handle things. She has a low threshold and she has a panic attack. And it's perfectly valid, and you don't really see that often in anime, in manga, in light novels. At least from what I've read and what I've seen, I've never really seen anybody get a panic attack. I'm glad it really grounds this universe even more. That it's not just a bunch of wannabe heroes who just can take everything in stride, but there are people like you and me. If I were on a space station and pirates or terrorists would attack, I would be having a panic attack. Hell yeah, I would be having one. Inject that adrenaline straight into my heart. So it's perfectly realistic, and I like it. I don't want to die, and they're running. That's another perfectly valid, perfectly realistic thing to do. Our call sign, an ally of Prince. Thankfully, Nika was here to save the ship, and that's probably gonna be their means of escaping. But the... I know, for some reason, this guy looks like a Peter to me. Every time I want to call him Peter, for some reason. Maybe it's the medieval peasant haircut. I don't know. But he, of course, witnessed Nika doing what she did. And this... what's it called? Kadizum? No. It's a special thing where you, when you have a physical camera, you take the camera away. Short planing, something like that. I don't remember the name, but you do it by taking camera away from the subject, from the object, but at the same time you zoom in. So the thing in the first plane keeps a constant size in the frame, but the size of the background changes because how optics work, and it's a cool effect, and I like that it's used here. All that's missing for me to completely gush about this scene is some chromatic aberration. I'm a sucker for chromatic aberration. We detected a ship. Ilanza Sol. I worked my way up the ladder by personally claiming my rival's heads. I mean, that's one way to go up the corporate ladder, for sure. There's a Gundam, of course, it's Suletta. So, Guel needs to see her. Somehow manages to get out in a mobile suit. Those terrorists are kind of suck at their job, don't they? I'm not the enemy. Why aren't you communicating? There's an error on the screen. I guess that might be why. But again, it seems kind of an oversight that there is no universal symbol for surrender, for no ill intentions. I don't know, blink your lights in a special pattern, or turn off your engine in a T-pose and float in a T-pose with turned off engine for 5 seconds, and that means to surrender, or, you know, something, anything. That's the reason situations like this are the reason why we have the white flag, are the reason why during different battles and wars and scaffolds sometimes there is some other universal symbol that's spread through enemy ranks. If the enemy wants to defect, they should, for example, grab 2 stakes and cross them above their head, or, you know, something, anything, to show that they mean no harm. It's something we have in real life, when war, all things considered, isn't that commonplace. In this show, it seems like all the time some corporations are warring with each other, so you would think they would have some common symbol for surrender, for meaning no ill intentions. Some flare, right? Shoot out a blue flare. or red flare, or green flare, or whatever, or in quick succession, blue, green, red, something, right? That's a great face on Guo. For the first time, he's actually been put in some dire straits. All this time, it was just dueling. Now it's real. Now he's fighting for survival. I can't die here. I don't want to die. Not with... He said... Or maybe later. Yeah, I haven't moved forward after Suletta Mercury. After the loss, I'm assuming, in a duel, he hasn't moved on from that. Haven't moved forward after Suletta Mercury. And he uses the push dagger to stab in the chest. I think at some point I mentioned wondering why are they like the danger of the chest cavity during duels and such, and it turns out they actually use that. If you stab a Gundam or mobile suit in the chest, you just kill the pilot directly. You don't need to destroy the suit. You can just kill the pilot. This scene also shows that Guel is actually genuinely an amazing pilot. He went against his father, who, as he said, climbed the ladder by claiming the heads of his enemies, so I'm assuming he's a great pilot. And he used the Lanza Sol, some super kitted out Gundam, not Gundam, mobile suit. And then there's Guel in a factory-made serial production random mobile suit with a missing arm. And he was able to just defeat him. No, sorry, the other way. Network Online. Okay, I guess that's why he couldn't use the comms, because network was offline. I'm on your side. Yeah, you shouldn't have stabbed him in the chest and expect to be able to communicate. But again, that kind of shows, I guess, that all those people know, really, Guel and Suletta and others, is fighting duels at school. I don't think Guel even thought about the possibility of killing the pilot. I genuinely don't think he did. Because during school duels, you don't have the possibility of killing the pilot. Everything is safe. There's plenty of all sorts of fail-safes and rules and probably lower output guns and whatnot. So he just acted to win the duel, kinda not realizing initially that lives are at stake. I guess that's why. And alas, turns out it's his father. And his father, turns out, is not an asshole. So you're okay. I thought he banished Guel initially, because he kinda did, from the dorms to the forest. But it seems Guel just ran away himself from responsibility, from family, from school. And his father has been searching for him. And why did he not eject? I don't know, that's anybody's guess. Perhaps he was already dead. And yeah, not the best situation to be in. Having killed your own father, trying to save your life. One way or another, it would have ended in tragedy. Either Guel kills his father, or the father kills Guel, right? Both very much undesirable outcomes. And then you also have the... Yeah, there's no third way out of it. If the comms were down, there's no third solution. There's no good outcome of this situation. That's a true tragedy here, because you can't even say that if something else happened. Because one way or another, it would have ended in tragedy. Also, from a more, I guess, pragmatic standpoint, does that mean Guel now inherits the company? Or does Delling get it? I don't know how the succession works in those corporations. I guess we'll see in the future. In case you weren't sure that you're watching Witch from Mercury, this fluffy and funny show with Yuri and daily lives and laughing with friends. Yes, you're watching this show. That's the aerial. I'm going. That machine, can you secure it? Prospera ex machina. I was kind of expecting maybe Suletta to just instinctively, I don't know, smack someone in the head and pick up a rifle and start shooting. But no, that wouldn't be Suletta. That's Prospera. Must have been scared. They're dead. Yes. If I hadn't, they'd have killed you. Prospera is correct. She is very much correct in her assessment. It was either the terrorist or Suletta. You gain 1, you gain 2. If I'd hidden, they wouldn't have died, but you would have died. But by fighting, I've kept you alive. Yeah. And thanks to having kept you alive, you can save more people. You and Ariel. I guess... Yeah, Suletta is also very much having a bit of a panic attack here. It would mean killing people, that's right. It's not a duel. Yeah, I love how this shot goes out of focus every now and then. And there is some chromatic aberration, so perfection. Her eyes, just her pupils contracting and expanding. 100,000 millions thoughts a second. But Prospera has a calming effect on Suletta. Perhaps to an unhealthy degree. Only the two of you can save them now. I know you're ready to move forward. And the glimmer in her eyes. I'm getting... unsettling vibes, as I already said. Okay, we're nearing the end. Unsettling vibes from this. That Suletta was able to get over it this quickly. That's a virtue, for sure, being able to get over things this quick. But also the fact that Prospera was able to talk her into it. On one hand, that's good. In every other situation, it would be fine, right? Mother being able to calm her daughter and tell her that that's how it has to be. You can save people, and sometimes to save the people you love, you have to make some sacrifices of other people, right? But with Prospera being Prospera, it seems kind of like if you run, you gain 1. If you move, you gain 2. Kind of like a sleeper agent kind of password that allows Prospera to rewire Suletta's brain and make her not question things. Suletta thinks death is bad. You say, oh, but by dealing death you gain 2. And Suletta's like, hell yeah, by killing you gain 2. Haha, I'm going to kill people. Right? That's kind of sort of the vibe I'm getting here. Probably not to that degree. I don't think there is actually some like implant in Suletta's skull that allows Prospera to rewire her. I don't actually think that's the case, but it's the vibe I'm getting. I have moved forward through the blood. I was afraid that she's gonna have like dead eyes and she's gonna keep dead eyes. But no, she's back to her cheery old self, smiling, wide-eyed, innocent. The Ariel is here, and you really don't want Ariel to be here. Ariel being here is one of the worst things you could have hoped for. I love the art in this show. The dramatic shading. And the dramatic music. You can't behave like that. And off she goes. I honestly thought that she's just gonna slam this Gundam into the wall, pierce through the chest, and that's gonna be it. It's gonna be a very anticlimactic death for this assassin. I honestly thought that's what's gonna happen. But no, Suletta goes out into space to have a proper duel. With lightsabers and all. You're the Ariel. Is she a Gundam too? She is. Very special Gundam. Earthhouse, our ship, they're okay. Where does she get the information from? From Prospera or from Ariel herself? You have to, unless you stop fooling around. Now's our chance, everyone. A thought in my mind, how Suletta refers to the Gundbits as everyone and sees them, or rather Elan saw them as dancing children. There was that question of Suletta's age and whatnot. Suletta isn't Aerie, Suletta goes slower, age is slower because of modification. Aerie was sent somewhere else, Aerie was turned into Ariel. Those were the theories. But I wonder, are there many Sulettas, many Aeries? Failed attempts. And every failed attempt was turned into a Gundbit. And Suletta is the perfected one. Just a random thought. Many Sulettas / Aeries. Aeries failures turned into Gundbits. Suletta perfected. What also kinda prompted me to this thought was one of the assassins saying in the end, Big Sister Suletta, could she actually be? Could they be clones of Aerie? Maybe. Or it's just essentially a replacement for Senpai. She looks up to Suletta, so she calls her Big Sister. One-sama, essentially. That's a big un. Big un gun. Gun expands. Gundbits. Look into it. Transformation complete. I love this little, like, head turning. I don't know what it is about this gesture, but it's always so fun to see. And she recognizes immediately the danger of it. Just fucking vaporize those legs. She's lucky that she was able to fly away, like, this far. It's not meant for combat. What do you mean it's not meant for combat? What is it meant for then? It is meant for combat. Like, do you really believe that Gundams were made for farming and agriculture? No, they are tools of war. They're like tanks. Can you use a tank as a tractor for fieldwork. Yes, you can. Some farmers in the Eastern Bloc actually do use old, stripped down tanks with the turret removed and all the stuff removed as tractors for their fields to pull the plow and whatnot. Does that make a tank a tool of agriculture? No, it's still a tool of war. It's a machine of war. And the same goes for Gundams and the same goes for mobile suits. So I don't know where he's coming from. At what point was anybody given the impression that Gundams are not tools of war? Is the propaganda working? You'd think that propaganda would be that they are tools of war and thus should be abolished, because the propaganda is entirely anti-Gundam, so I'm not getting it. You've pierced right through my heart, and you're to blame. Here comes the chubby captain. Only my bad feelings hit the mark. And that's a lot of witch hunters. That's a lot of witch hunters. And this is, I don't know, Guel's father's Gundam? I don't know which Gundam it is, which mobile suit, or just a random mobile suit floating in space. Is your life that precious? I'll come visit you again, big sister Suletta. Operation failed. He seems very nonplussed about it. Pale Technologies to Elan series sized priority. Attack has been planned Quetta by Organization Dawn to unidentified MS using gun format were confirmed. We will contact you later with further instructions. Business correspondence. Okay, from Pale to Elan. And he also has course schedule from Asticassia and business correspondence from Pale Technologies. Earthian Gundams, indeed. What's gonna be Elan's role in this all? We'd better not get involved. Yeah, you'd better. And I guess she performs scanning to find a Miorin. This would have been a very odd place to end the core, but thankfully we have a little bit more. Yeah, Miorin trying to save her father. I hope Delling is going to be fine. Even if I can't get back to Earth, I'm taking you down with me. And Suletta Ex Machina, splat. Again, reminds me of Overlord, of the full page of the light novel, just being the word splat. Oh, no, you don't. There's a lot of blood in such a puny body. Amazing moment. The floating arm. The splatter of blood on Miorin's face. I see her panic, I understand her panic, and also blood in 0G. Ah, that's some amazing art, amazing animation on it. And second splat. Whoopsie doodles, I'm such a klutz. Look at that now. Oh, my suit is dirty with blood of this puny man. That's a little bit too much blood. That's an excessive amount of blood. And also an amazing visual. I love this visual of Suletta. Suletta's outstretched, blood-stained hand and darkened Ariel behind her. Such a great visual. How can you smile like that? Well, she just gained 2. So of course she's going to smile. Right? She could have gained 1, but she gained 2. And her mama said that gaining 2 is good. I'm a good girl, Miorin. I gained 2. Why aren't you happy for me gaining 2, Miorin? Aren't you my bride? You should be happy for me, your groom, who just gained 2. And my mama is gonna be so proud of me. I love it. Another amazing visual. The silent sentinel in the background. Murderer, yes! But she saved you. So I guess it's just Suletta's demeanor and her complete, disregard for the life of that terrorist that's so off-putting to Miorin. I hope that's what it is. I hope it's not the fact that Suletta killed a guy. She had only so much time to decide. She had only so much time to act. If she had more time, she could have picked the guy up and just put him away or something, right? But he would have managed to shoot, and Miorin would be dead and Delin would be dead. She could have, I don't know, enabled stun mode or something, but that also takes time. Slap doesn't take the time. It's an immediate action that immediately saves Miorin and immediately saves Delin. So if Miorin is going to have an issue with that, I'm going to have an issue with Miorin. Similar thing happened in Symphogear AXZ, where there was a choice of a character losing a leg or fucking dying. And the character lost a leg because one of the characters in Symphogear made that decision that it's better to shoot off the leg than let him die. And then the sister of that character was all like, "Oh, why did you shoot his leg? Look at him, he's never going to play soccer again. Why did you do it? Bitch, he could have died. Would you have preferred that?" So if it's a similar situation where Miorin's like, "Why did you kill him? Well, he was a human being. Would you prefer to have died instead of him? With your father alongside you? Would that have been a preferred outcome?" I'm going to have an issue with it. If Miorin's problem is that Suletta is so nonchalant about it, I'm perfectly fine. Because it is creepy, it is off-putting. Absolutely, I agree with you, Miorin. And I hope it's about that. I hope it's about that. But seeing how anime in general, light novels and manga less so, but anime is very much like, oh no, we can't kill the bad guys because that will make us exactly like the bad guys. Oh no, I'm going to put you in jail, you mass murderer, you are evil, naughty, naughty boy. And that's all. So it wouldn't surprise me if Miorin took any issue with the killing itself. But then again, I don't know. I will know in April. It's gonna be a long wait. It's gonna be a long-ass wait until April. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, that's it. That's it for episode 12 of Gundam Witch from Mercury. And for the series, the first season of Gundam Witch from Mercury. It was a wild ride. And I feel like the first season might have brought me into a false sense of security to a degree, where I was led to believe that it's going to be a more light-hearted, maybe, entry into the Gundam franchise. As it turns out, perhaps not entirely. The first moment was, of course, whatchamacallem, Elan dying. That was that bit of a dark turn. But now we're entering some mind games territory, and that's going to be interesting. I want to see one thing. I want to see the sequel. And is there any key visual or something? No, not really. There's just a logo. No key visuals, no nothing. Okay, okay. I thought I might be able to glean something from a key visual, but I think that's even preferable. I wouldn't want to be spoiled for the second core. Huh. Okay. I really did enjoy this episode. It was mostly fighting. I guess kind of to counterbalance the previous episode. The previous episode had so many different things in it, so many threads started and opened and started unraveling. And this episode was was a counter by not having many things happen exactly, but by having a lot of combat, a lot of fight. That was, of course, amazing. It's going to be interesting to see where all the characters go from there. Where's Guel going to go from there? I think that's my biggest question about Guel. About Guel, how do you move on from killing your own father? With his company probably becoming yours in the process. How do you deal with that? You don't. There's no way you can actually deal with that well without like therapy, and I don't think they have therapy in space for some reason. Seeing Guo's journey is gonna be the most interesting, I think. Miorin, I'm not all that afraid of, to be perfectly honest with you. She's a strong character. She can deal with all sorts of things. After the initial trauma has passed, after she has the time to deal with it and process it, she might be flinching at the sight of Suletta for a while. She might cut off Suletta for a while, absolutely. But she will eventually emerge out of this situation. Not even back to the status quo, but she will emerge stronger. I have no doubt in Miorin. Suletta's journey, that's also going to be interesting. Are they going to try to make her normal, quote unquote, again? Or are they going to lean into the psychopathic tendencies because Mommy Dearest says you gain 2 if you kill people? I think we might be going for the second thing. I think we might be turning, slowly but surely, we might be turning Suletta into Prospera, or Prospera's tool for vengeance, at least. Which, I mean, Prospera said as much, that she will exact her vengeance with Suletta and Ariel, so what's even the question here? What else? I wonder where we go with Nika. She seems to still have some ties with the assassins. She has contact with them. She's the go-between. But did she cut the ties with them? Why is she in Asticassia? Is she a double agent? Is she a single agent? Is she a triple agent? Or did she just want to leave that life of an assassin behind and just be a normal schoolgirl? That's also a possibility. And now that... I don't know his name, so I'm just gonna call him Peter, the one with the bowl cut. Now that he's seen who Nika is, what's going to be the repercussions of that? Is she going to try to silence him? Is he going to babble about it? What's going to happen? That's going to be interesting. There's some drama brewing at the Earth House for sure. Then there is, of course, Shadiq, who seems completely nonplussed about the attempt at assassination being a failure. He didn't grimace, he didn't even get a neutral expression, he was just smiling as always. And that's creepy, because it gives you the vibe that everything went according to Keikaku. That the plan failing was according to his plan. That he's playing some 17-dimensional chess on a 27 by 27 board. That's the vibe you get from it, but how much of that is true, I don't know. Maybe he's sleazy enough to try to get still something positive out of the failure. That's a possibility. There's also Elan, who's, of course, in contact with Pale Technologies and knows about the assassination attempt, at least to a degree, at least knows that it happened. What's gonna be his role? That's another question. Uh, so many questions. What's gonna become of Delling? I mean, he's probably gonna survive. That's also interesting that Prospera helped them protect everybody from. Helped protect everybody. If she held a grudge against Delling, she would have just allowed the assassination to happen. She would have just tipped off Suletta and the Earth House to not come here, and that would be the end of it. Delling is dead, everything's fine, everything's good in the world, but maybe she wants to just murder Delling with her own hands, or maybe she wants to destroy him completely and utterly first. Kill his family, destroy his company, dissolve everything, wait until he has to live under a space bridge somewhere, begging for money, and then she's gonna approach him and slit his throat. That might be what she's going for. Wouldn't surprise me. Oh boy. Now we need to wait until April, huh? Now, about the series as a whole, do I really need to say much about the series as a whole? Do I really? I mean, it's great. It's amazing. Some amazing art, some amazing animation, amazing sound design. The music in the scene with Ariel in today's episode was completely out of this world. I loved it. Uh, Voice actors are doing a great job. I can't really say anything negative about this series. I honestly can't. Sometimes the art might get a little bit tiny itty bitty wobbly. It's like someone's eye might be 3 pixels higher than the right eye, but that's about all, and it doesn't even happen all that often, so is there even anything to talk about here? Stories are great. I love that they're not spending a lot of time with unresolved drama. That's the thing I hate the most in anime. Unresolved drama that could have been solved by just fucking talking to each other, sending a message online or something, and the issue is solved, but they choose to spread it throughout the entire season for some reason. That I hate. And Gundam, Witch from Mercury, has been very good about not doing that. There's an issue in episode 7, it's gonna be solved in episode 8, episode 9 at the latest. And that's perfect. I love the storytelling, I love the pacing. I don't think any episode had any issue with pacing. There might have been a couple episodes a little too packed with content, and some episodes with a little bit too much of filler combat. It could have been maybe spread a little bit more evenly across episodes, but I guess that would be my only criticism. Besides that, nothing. Great characters, very lovable cast. Great. Are there even any villains? You can't really point at anybody and say they're a villain. Maybe Shadik. Arguably Prospera. Early on, Delling, but Delling has redeemed himself since. I guess Shadik and Prospera are kind of sort of villainish. Elan? Not really, he's just a little shit. He doesn't really work actively against someone. And we still don't fully know what Prospera's deal is. Maybe she's gonna turn out to not be a villain at all. Ah. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I have anything more to say on the topic, honestly. Uh, if there was some more criticism to be had, I would be able to talk a little bit more about it, but there isn't any more criticism to be had. It's just a top quality anime, and it's well deserving to be in like top 3, if not completely topping the charts of anime for the season. What score did it get on AniList? I wonder. On AniList, it has the score of mostly in the 90s, 80s, 90s. Well deserved. Well deserved. I'm just gonna rate it as a 10. All 12 episodes watched, updated. There we go. There we go. Hmm. Yeah. Now we need to wait until April, and that's about all I can say about it. I don't want to sit here and spin in circles, repeating myself. So I guess we can end this episode here, but maybe you guys, maybe you have something more to add. And if so, do that in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode, of my reaction, my theories, stuff like that? You can't spoil me now, so you can talk about anything and everything. No restrictions. Isn't that great? If you don't want to talk about spoilers, there aren't any spoilers, but if you want to talk about this on Discord, there's Discord here. Also, there's a link, invite in the description, so join it. There's a Gundam channel where you can talk to your heart's content about Gundam and other Gundam series and other anime I'm watching and stuff like that. So don't be afraid to join it. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Gundam Witch from Mercury, but also Handyman Saitou in Another World, also Kaina in the Great Snow Sea or something, CG anime, but surprisingly good. And other shows are also coming in the future. Also Symphogear, I'm still watching it, so that's another show to look forward to. Subscribe, as I said, click the bell if you want to be notified when I release new videos, and I stream sometimes, so you might want to be notified of that. And what's next? Support me if you want monetarily. Patreon, Throne, links in the description below. On Patreon, for $10 a month, you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Symphogear, Madoka, and others. And for just $1, you get a role on the Discord, a place in the credits, and I sometimes release some seasonal shows a little bit early on that tier as well. On Throne, you can pitch in directly towards my purchase of better gear, better software, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, share my content, spread the word, costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's the list of my present patrons. You can be one of them if only you so desire.